everyone, it's Josh Sebo, the COO of OfferVault.com, the industry's largest affiliate offer search engine. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for more great interviews, the latest affiliate news, and free training. Today, we have another very special guest on the show. He's the founder and president of InterG Media, as well as my buddy when it comes to all things electronic music. Let's welcome to the show, Greg Wasik. What's up, Greg? How you doing today?
Doing great, all things considered. Thanks for having me here on the show, Josh.
No problem. I see you're coming to us live from the kitchen. And where is the kitchen? What city and state are you in right now?
Right in Hollywood, California.
Oh yeah, what part of Hollywood?
Right smack dab. We can pretty much walk to a couple blocks away from the Hollywood Strip.
So I lived at Franklin and Vine, right at the top of the hill, like next to Capitol Records, right off the freeway there.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're down by Santa Monica and La Brea, not too far.
All right, cool, man. That's awesome. So like we were neighbors for a short period of time.
Yeah, for sure.
So what were you doing before InterG Media? I'd love to hear about, what you were doing for work, and then we'll kind of transition from there into where you are today. So what were you doing before affiliate marketing in general?
Sure. After I graduated college, I moved to Los Angeles. I had always wanted to live in LA from when I was kind of a teenager. And I'd gone to college at Florida State. I was both a finance and a real estate major. And when I graduated, one of my professors who I spoke to, I said, hey, I want to move to LA. Do you know anyone? And he happened that one of his former students was out there who was the second in command at a real estate valuation company. And I gave him a call, and I came out, interviewed for the job, and ended up getting offered the job. And so I moved to LA in the early 90s and did basically commercial valuations for commercial real estate. And that's how my career started before I got into the affiliate marketing, the performance ad network.
So we had a similar start to a point. I graduated college, bought a one-way ticket with my guitar on my back to LA, dreams of being a famous musician, and parked cars at the Sunset Tower Hotel in West Hollywood or wherever it is. But so I was doing that for a while. I ended up doing music and then found my way to OfferVault handful of years ago. But so you're doing commercial real estate. Was that evaluations you were saying, correct?
Yeah, doing exactly.
So how did you find your way from doing those evaluations in the real estate industry to the affiliate marketing space? What was, the transition from one to the other? Because obviously those are two completely different industries. So how did that transition look like?
I'd always been a bit into computers and found it interesting along with business. Believe it or not, when I was about 15 years old, me and two friends in North Carolina, where I grew up, we actually started a mail order computer software business where I was actually able to get a reseller license and buy software, wholesale, and turn around, and then we would sell it to people we knew retail or at slightly discounted. And this is, the 80s where, there's I suppose maybe Amazon was starting right around then, but you couldn't easily go buy things like this. There's almost, one or two computer stores and that was it. So I'd always had that bug of both being entrepreneurial as well as finding computer things interesting. And then where I got into affiliate marketing and the performance ad space was actually one of my coworkers at the commercial valuation company. One day I happened to be in his office and he had some things on his screen. I could tell some sort of like, kind of like an e-commerce kind of thing. And I'd asked him what he was doing, and he showed me he was basically was kind of selling videos online. And what had happened was he was one of the first people to bid. Before Google ever had pay-per-click. When Google first came out, there were no ads on there. You couldn't buy traffic. And there's a company called GoTo.com in Pasadena, which was one of, if not the first pay-per-click search engine out there. And so my coworker, who he had started basically buying keywords, and he was the only person buying keywords for certain topics and paying a penny a click, and he would just send them on to a one-page lander. And he was doing very well. So, he was sometimes making $8,000 or $10,000 a month, and this is like 1999, on a one-page lander that he set it up and basically never touched it again. And I'm like, wow, what's this about? How can I get in on that?
Hmm.
And that was like kind of the perfect fit for me, both being interested in, kind of computers as well as business. And so that's where I got into affiliate marketing as an affiliate, 21 years ago now is when I first started approximately. And, did it on my own for a while, and then eventually decided to progress into also, starting an affiliate network as well. So we still run traffic. I mean, you could argue in ways, we have internal traffic, so I still have the affiliate, still part of my system a little bit, but we're also running the network for others as well.
So tell me about the foundation of InterG Media. You said you were working as an affiliate for a while. What was that process like, switching from doing just the affiliate work to actually setting up your own company in the space? How did the foundation process get started?
Well, it was something where, again, it was, me, being kind of entrepreneurial. I wanted to make things grow, be a little bigger and better. And, I've gone to many of the shows like Affiliate Summit since the, early 2000s, probably mid 2000s, for a long time. And, you get to meet some of the owners of some of the networks like Jason Adsford. I've, known him for a while down in San Diego. And, I'd kind of seen how it went, and it felt like a good way to both allow me to keep my foot in, affiliate marketing effectively, but yet grow my business, because, there's only so many hours in the day for yourself. And if you can start a network and then, have a publisher sending traffic to your offers, it should, help you grow your business. And that was sort of the foundation. Like, if I need to get bigger and better, that's kind of what I felt like the way to handle that.
So let's pretend I know nothing about InterG Media. Just want to make sure our viewers hear that correctly. It's also on your shirt for those that don't
There
have
you
the audio.
go.
Let's pretend I know nothing about InterG Media. What do you want our affiliate audience to know about the company? What you guys special in, offers you focus on? Just tell us a little bit in detail about what you guys do.
Sure. Our network, it's, we're similar to the other performance ad networks out there that you run across and have heard about. One of the things that we tend to do a little more than some of the others is a focus on pay-per-call offers. Some networks don't get into that at all, or maybe have a couple. Pay-per-call for us has been a big part for, pretty much from day one. At the same time, we do have CPA offers. I mean, if you want those email submits that have been around forever, we've got those, lead gen, they're there. But, we do have, or I think we're a little more well-rounded on the pay-per-call side than you would see. And that is a little bit of a niche, that's different ways of generating traffic for that than you may for CPA offers. But, that's kind of what we are. We're also like happy to work with people new to the industry. I mean, there is a bit of a vetting process going on. You just don't approve anyone who signs up. You ask them a couple questions and make sure they have some idea, and and they know how to send quality traffic. That's always the name of the game, is quality traffic. And some people think there's some shortcuts to that. So you always have to make sure that is this someone you want to work with or not.
Do you recommend that affiliates set up their own call tracking if they're doing pay-per-call? And if you do, are there any platforms, call tracking platforms out there you would recommend they look into?
I do. It's always good. I mean, more data is always the better. And the more data you have, it can allow you to make better decisions. And for call tracking, now our offers that we run, we use Invoca, and Invoca is one of the large providers out there. It's been around for a while. There's also, of course, Ringba is a very good solution as well. Ringba will give you typically more information about your caller that can be provided that we find that Invoca does. But in terms of actually, from an affiliate, that doesn't necessarily make that big of a difference always. But the more data you have, the better. It allows you to make better decisions. Spend your money more wisely if you're doing pay-per-call traffic, buying the traffic from Google or other sources and whatnot. So those are kind of the two main places. Now, a regular affiliate would not want to use Invoca. That's really more for networks and advertisers. But an affiliate could easily use Ringba, even CallRail might be something possibly as well, just for some limited tracking.
Awesome. I think any affiliates in pay-per-call will really appreciate that information. So let's play a quick little game here. I'm going to say a word. You're going to tell me the first word that comes to your mind. Ready?
Wow. Okay.
Here we go. InterG Media.
Trustworthy.
Great. So all you affiliates watching this episode, if there's one thing you should know about InterG Media, it is that they are trustworthy. Thank you for that information, Greg.
Yeah.
Now we see you working from the kitchen. Obviously, a lot of people are working from home right now. Where do you see the industry heading over the next couple of years, and what should people prepare for to keep up with what you think might be those changing trends?
Well, things always change in this space. I mean, it's kind of a running joke that probably for 15 years now, everyone's saying this is the end of affiliate marketing. It's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, that's for sure. And then even I think now you see some either bigger, retailers that didn't used to get into the performance marketing space are now getting into it. Be it what they're doing running their own programs or outsourcing them to somebody like CJ or ones like that. It's what changes more than anything tends to be what offers are available, how you're generating traffic, what's the profitable way to do it. Sometimes there'll be new restrictions come on. There's always like the flavor of the month. And a lot of people go in there and send a lot of traffic to it, and then sometimes that'll just like tail off. You always had things like the free trial subscriptions, and that's kind of come and gone a little bit. Now it's like, when you're buying something, you're actually paying a price for something, not a free trial to get paid, for CPA offers. And, pay-per-call hasn't changed a whole lot, recently. Sometimes Google changes some of the things they allow you to do or not do, and that makes a big difference. One of the new big things that just came out is Snapchat actually allows people to do effectively swipe to call. So you can put an ad on Snapchat, and of course their demographic skews very young. So if you ran an offer there, you need to run something that is tailored for that market. But you can put an ad in there, and you just go swipe, and it'll go right to the dialer. That's just like a new thing that came out from Snapchat early this year here in the U.S. So there are always things kind of coming and going. At least in the short term, several years from now, I don't think things are going to change an awful lot. You just, again, may see some new hot verticals, new areas people are pushing in, but I don't think things will change too much.
What would be some advice you would give to an affiliate just getting started in this space, whether it's pay-per-call or outside of pay-per-call, things that you would tell them to focus on to really attribute to their future success?
Well, I think educate yourself. There's a lot of free education out there. A lot of forums you can join, some that are free, some that are paid, like Stack That Money. You can go out there and basically first just read up on it and ask a lot of questions. Most people in the industry are pretty friendly and will answer your question if it's a fair and valid question. Now, of course, you always get some newbies who see somebody making $1,000 a day or $5,000 a day, and they're like, how do I do this? And they just want to go copy it all. Mm-hmm. So if you ask that question, you're not going to get an answer. Of course, whoever's doing that's not going to tell you really. But at the same time, if you ask a constructive question, that's like a legitimate question, someone who's doing high volume, will probably answer it and tell you, this is what you should do or not do, try this, tweak this, but try this ad source, whatever, So I think it's all about education and then trial and error. No one ever jumps into this and starts making a lot of money from the beginning. You go in there and you got to play around, and it's kind of like the whole thing, like, throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Mm-hmm. You might find that you might be good doing CPI installs, and you have no interest in pay-per-call, or you might find you have interest in building out websites for SEO purposes, and then you send the traffic to Amazon or an advertiser that is tailored to the website that you built the site out for. So you also need to figure out what you like and what you're good at as well.
What qualities do you or your affiliate managers look for in terms of these new signups that are coming into your affiliate program? What qualities do these affiliates need to have to get approved to your program?
Well, it helps that they have some experience, but it's not mandatory. We will ask some questions, and kind of the biggest question is like, how would you generate traffic? And, so before anyone gets ever approved, we do want to know what their game plan is. And, assuming they have the right answers to that question, or we even say, hey, go here, read up a little bit or whatever, and then you can come back to us, So, you can tell, unfortunately, there's some canned responses that are going around. I think there's some places on the net that'll basically say, tell this to any network you apply with to get approved. And it's pretty easy to spot those kind of cut and paste. We get some guys who literally, when you say, hey, how are you going to generate your traffic? And the answer would be Google, Bing, Facebook, SEO, email, SMS. It's like they basically list every single traffic generation method out there when they basically don't really know any of them. So it's really just a couple quick questions, and we want to work with as many people as possible. We don't want to exclude anyone, but they seem to have. We want them to have some idea. At least they're going to go in the right direction and not take any shortcuts that would ultimately hurt our advertiser or us by sending fraudulent traffic.
So I'm sure we have some viewers that are like, what is this affiliate marketing thing? How can I make money? I'd love for you to really go into detail for us. How do the affiliates that get into your affiliate program actually generate revenue for themselves? And how do you guys as a company actually generate revenue for the company?
Sure. Well, the easiest way to explain it would maybe be with, there are a lot of big advertisers out there and companies who are looking for more business. Either they want to sell more product, or they need more leads, or more signups, or whatnot. And so it's a lot of work dealing with affiliates, thousands of affiliates all around the world. And the vast majority of companies out there don't want to deal with that. So, let's say you're, someone large like a large a large dating company, a Match.com type place, So basically, what they do is, they would want to, again, they don't want to deal with 5 or 10,000 affiliates all around the world with all these questions, having to send out payments to all of them. So they go out and they'll work with a select number of networks like ours. And then basically, we take on that kind of business side of it, where, we'll work with the thousands of affiliates, and we'll handle all the payments, and we'll handle all the questions. And for part of that, I'm gonna make up a number. Let's say somebody signs up at Match.com, and there's like a $30 payment for a sign up. We get a little bit of that. We get a small percentage of that is kind of affect our cost, our profit for running the business. The affiliates get the bulk of what's left over, and that's kind of how it trickles down to them.
So can you explain what the affiliate actually does to get paid in general? Like what action do they perform to actually make their own revenue with you?
Well, again, with the kind of continuing the example I started. So let's say affiliate was approved by us, and they wanted to, and they had a really good dating blog. It was like maybe funny dating stories. Like, they would talk about crazy things that are happening in the dating world. And, we know all these funny stories out there. So that would be a perfect kind of site to put some ads on there for dating websites. So then what you do is you would come to our site, you would search and see what sort of dating programs we have available. And then you go in there and you see what might be a good fit for your website. And you can get some banners from us. So we would have some pre-made banners that, would say, hey, want to meet someone during the coronavirus, click here, or whatever, and download and also basically get the tracking link. They go put the ad, the banner ad, and the link on that dating website that the affiliate owns. And, the traffic they're generating from their, amusing stories, dating traffics, some people are going to click on those ads, and some people are going to sign up for a free trial. And once that free trial or a paid trial happens, that'll trigger a payment from the advertiser, the dating company, which goes to us. And then, we'll go ahead and pass the bulk of that on to the affiliate. So that's how it would work in that particular example. So basically, the affiliate needs to generate traffic in some manner. It could be for their own website. It could be, they could be buying traffic on a large website, media buying, where when you see those heavy traffic sites, CNN, you go to the bottom of CNN, you see a block of ads there. You can buy those kind of traffic. You buy the Google pay-per-click traffic. You buy traffic on Facebook. We talked about Snapchat before. So basically, the affiliate, one of the biggest things, again, we discussed before, is you need to kind of decide what you like, what you're interested in. And even that includes what kind of niche. Do you want to work in dating? Do you want to work in finance? Do you want to work in auto insurance? Do you want to work in like rehab, addiction offers or whatnot? So you figure that out, and then you kind of figure what's the best place to get that traffic. Because something, if you're working on, Medicare, or insurance, health insurance calls, you're probably not going to Snapchat. Mm-hmm. So things like that. So you kind of need to, once you decide what offer you want to work on, then you need to start building it out and kind of, putting your plan together and figuring out what is the best place to get the traffic. You start sending the traffic, and then hopefully, you can, once you start optimizing it, you'll show a profit and continue to run the campaign.
Well, thanks so much for explaining that. I mean, it helped me understand it even more, and I've been in the space for years, so I'm sure for someone new to the industry, they really appreciated your insight there. Let's move along to a little bit more of a get to know Greg as the person question. How do you define success? Is it going to, 100 EDM concerts a year and raving your face off, or is it just being happy and healthy? Is it being successful with money? Like, what does it mean to you to be a successful person?
Well, I think to me, being a successful person is just kind of being a good person in general, and being happy and enjoying your life, waking up every day knowing that you did the right thing, and you're going to have a good day, and the people in your life love you and enjoy your presence and want to be with you. Yeah, to me, that's kind of like a success. Now, of course, we are in a capitalistic society, so there's a side to it. I've always been very entrepreneurial, and so for me also, I do have some sides of it where I look at how well the network does. And I still am involved in the real estate side. I have, as you know, we have InterG Media as a property owns EDM Life, a dance music website, which is fairly well trafficked. So, there are other things as well. We kind of, and some of those kind of help define the success as well.
So let's tell our viewers about your passion for the EDM world, because I'm sure a lot of people don't know this about you. You've been into that scene for a pretty long time, right?
Yeah, when I was like, gosh, 12 years old in North Carolina, growing as a kid, I was buying 12-inch records, stuff like Jam On and Nucleus, like Eric B. and Rakim. Back then it was a little more rap. And then as I got
Right.
a little older, I started getting into the house music side of it. I've been, kind of like many people call it a bedroom DJ,
Hmm.
sitting at the turntables in the bedroom, big record collection, played a couple parties here or there, and even promoted a couple parties in the LA area in the 90s.
Yeah,
So
every time I see you at a conference, you're like, "Hey, man, check out this party I'm going to tonight." It's like not an industry party at all. It's some like low key underground, like crazy big DJ, and I'm like, "Dude, every single time, you love
yeah,
it."
something a little different. Well, affiliate Summit West, you usually go to Excess or one of the large clubs like that. But yeah, it's definitely a big thing. I've gone to Ibiza probably, gosh, 13 in the last 15 years. Uh,
Wow, I've been
and
once, and I
yeah,
was I was very young, which is
yeah,
probably a great time to go. But I've only been once.
yeah, definitely when you're young, but you can go when you're a little older too.
Oh
So,
yeah, you ever
uh,
done you ever done like Burning Man or anything like that?
I've never done Burning Man. I've done EDC a few times, Coachella several times. Last couple of years, one of the more fun things to go to is the BPM Festival that's down in Playa del Carmen, and now kind of that shifted to Tulum right
Hmm.
around Christmas and New Year's and early January is kind of the thing that goes. So yeah, it's definitely been a big part of my life. Still is. I still love listening to house music and traveling to go to a good festival or a party somewhere.
So if you're ever at the festival, I should just look for the guy with like the neon face paint on, just like having the time of his life. Is that you?
That won't be me, but
Some variation of that.
yeah.
So
The crazy cowboy hat. That might be me.
oh, you're the crazy cowboy. That's your like persona. All right, cool. So on the flip side of success, do you have an apparent failure in your life that you look back on and see as a huge learning experience that helped get you to where you are today?
Yeah, sometimes I think I spread myself a little too thin. I mean, I mentioned I do have various interests, and uh, I think there is something to that saying where if you kind of spend all your time on focus on one thing, that you'll become top of your game at that. And that's something I think that sometimes I could work on a little better is focusing on one thing all day long instead of doing a little bit of real estate and somebody sends me you have a PR person trying to get you to do something with the dance music website all the while you're running your network, so there's
Hmm.
only 20 hours in the day.
So I'm giving you a gigantic billboard on the 101. You can put anything you want on it. What are you putting on the billboard?
Wow. Gosh, in today's environment, I'd probably say, don't worry, be happy.
All right, cool, cool. I like it. Nice and chill and to the point.
Yeah.
Do you have a good investment that you've made recently or in the past few years that really increased your productivity, whether it's a physical product or a change in the way you think? Is there something that really sticks out that you remember helping you?
Excuse me. I think probably one of the biggest things would be I have learned to delegate a little better. I tend to be one of those people to kind of micromanage a little bit. I want to do everything. I want to monitor everything and, make sure a person did that right. And then one of the ways you have to grow your business is to be able to delegate and let other people do stuff and trust that they're going to do it right. And that's taken a while to be hands off in certain projects and certain things. But that's the only way you're going to run a big company, and that's something I've gotten better at over the years and allow things to grow.
What would you tell a young adult getting ready to enter the real world? Maybe from personal experience, things you put too much attention on when you were coming into the real world, and maybe something you didn't put enough attention on that you learned later you should have.
I think one big thing is you just never know where life's going to take you. I mean, you could, when you graduate college or, coming out of high school, you kind of tend to think, I'm going to go do this one thing and this is going to be my life and whatnot. And then, life takes a lot of turns you don't expect. And sometimes you're thinking that, hey, I'm going to go be a doctor. And then when you're 30, you're like, yeah, you know what? I want to go sell real estate. I mean, you just don't know. So it's like, don't worry about if you're young and you're in your 20s, what you're doing then might be something very different what you're doing 10 years from now. And if it doesn't quite work out or you change your mind, it's not for you what you're starting your work career as, don't worry about changing it. I mean, things can go in different ways, and don't sweat it at all. Probably another thing I learned too, I was a bit surprised, and I won't tell you exactly how old I am now, but I'll tell you this, when I was in my 20s, I thought when you get to my age now where I'm at, I thought, man, you're like old and like, retired almost. And like, you're your wife's all quiet and you're just staying at home every night. And, I mean, I'm still pretty young at heart and going out and, doing everything that I did when I was in my 20s, not to the same degree, but, you can be 40 something and your body might not quite be as peak operational like it is in 20s, but everything else business wise, and you learned a lot and your life is better in a lot of ways. So don't sweat things if in your early life it's to career or even personal things. It'll typically get better and grow from there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, life changes so rapidly, especially in your 20s. I started school pre-med as a vet. Then I switched to business. Then I moved out to LA to play music while I was parking cars and waiting tables, then played music. And now here I am at OfferVault. So like, as you can see, just kind of roll with the punches and just have some sort of long-term vision and just do what you want to be happy. That would be my advice, but it sounds like we kind of share the same thing. You had a different background from what you're doing now. You're still doing some real estate, but obviously that's, on the side, but you're still doing what you love. You're still going to concerts and dancing your face off and staying young at heart. And I think, as long as you're enjoying life, like that's the most important thing. So I love that answer. Do you have any tricks to get back in the zone while you're working? Like maybe you lose focus and you do this and it just helps you get right back to what you're doing or helps you focus on what you were doing?
For me, kind of one of the things is I do sometimes get a little sidetracked. I mean, there's starting to read, some interesting article on some website about whatever. It might be today's news. It might be about business or whatever. And then I've had to get one of those it's a little button for Chrome. It's like an extension you install and you click it. And it like doesn't let you read any websites that are like time wasters. So it's like you try and click on Facebook or LA Times or Yahoo or whatever. It basically shows us that this is blocked.
Oh my God.
And it'll you can set it so like to run for a certain amount of time. So basically, when I go down, I press that button, and I can't sit there and get distracted for a moment and say, I wonder what's up with the.
It's like
it's like go read some article, and I should be.
It's like your own parental control, kind of.
It is kind of, yeah. It's like that's what works for me is kind of literally just shutting off all websites except for what I should be working on at that moment.
Any bad recommendations you hear in the pay-per-call space or the affiliate space in general? Recommendations or just things you see people flocking towards that you actually disagree with and you would tell our viewers to kind of approach with caution or stay away from altogether?
Well, that's a good question.
Like, what are some things you stay away from in that space?
Well, one thing, and this is more what we see some affiliates, we have some don't do the right thing with, tends to be like email marketing and SMS text marketing, where you get people and instead of developing their list of emails properly by running their own website, or even maybe buying them from a legitimate provider that has them, that they acquired them for their own manner, and you have opt-ins and timestamps and whatnot. You do see some people out there try and take a shortcut to emailing or texting, and they basically either scrape the numbers or the emails off the internet, or they find some like cheap, incredibly cheap list where who knows how they acquired them, and they just sit there and start bulk spamming people, or they bulk text people. And so basically what happens is that then we start getting complaints from the advertiser, like, hey, it's, well, the person that got the email or the text complains, and then that doesn't go to us, or that'll go to the advertiser, who then circles back to us complaining that an affiliate was sending out unauthorized texts or emails. And it's, people think they have like a shortcut to making money. It's like they can go buy some huge list very inexpensively, but was not put together in a legitimate manner. And so that's one thing. It's like we're always very tight on approving people who want to, especially for text. Emails, it's a little looser, but yeah, anyone who tries to do stuff in that, there's too many shortcuts that people try and take. Just want to get that money quick instead of, it's a long process to be able to build a good list of text or email subscribers.
What's the biggest regret in your life? If you could go back and redo something, what did you look back on and you're like, man, I really wish I did that differently? Maybe in your professional career.
Your professional career?
Yeah, we don't have to get too personal.
Well, I was kind of thinking some stock investments here or there. I kind of like wish I had maybe sold a little too soon or bought something a little earlier, that's for sure. But, I think maybe I had probably wished that I had gone a little more in on the network a little earlier. Because, it's been a good thing. I really enjoy it. Everyone I meet in this space, yourself included, it's always very cool. It's great going to the shows in, New York and Las Vegas and Bangkok. I've been to the affiliate world, Europe. It's great traveling all around the world, seeing the same people. Everyone always has a good time. I probably would have kind of grown that a little earlier. Would probably, something I would have done differently.
Outside of the foundation of InterG Media, what are some of your favorite achievements that you've accomplished thus far?
Are we talking business or?
We could go business and personal, whatever you want. You could give me 1, 2, 3.
In business, I think it's a good thing that I do have both the successful internet marketing company, affiliate network, and then we actually still do the real estate valuations, and we've actually added real estate brokerage to that. So, to have like two different successful industries that I'm kind of both running, it's something definitely kind of pretty proud of.
Greg, you've been a great guest. I would love to have you back on the show anytime. Before we let you go, we're going to play everybody's favorite game, the OfferVault Hot Seat. Here's how it works. We're going to ask you 5 would you rather questions that get a little harder as we go. Nothing related to affiliate marketing. We just want to get to know you and how you react to some real weird questions.
All right, let's go. Got it.
All right. Question 1. Would you rather have no fingers or no eyes?
Oof. No eyes.
Any reason behind that answer?
I think fingers seem to be pretty important. I mean, at the same time, I'm starting to rethink my question now. You're going to want to see. I think you could live a better life with no fingers.
Right.
You could see. I'm going to change my answer. So no fingers.
All right. Cool.
See and have no fingers, then So we'll go with that. Change my answer.
Okay, very indecisive on the first question, folks. This is not a good sign for things to come. Question 2, would you rather read people's minds or accurately predict the future?
I think I'd rather accurately predict the future.
Again, please explain.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know to expect everything. I mean, obviously from the business side, that's how my mind thinks. You could do very, very well. You predict the future, you're going to be a gazillionaire. And I imagine too, sometimes mind reading. I mean, sometimes you want to know what somebody's thinking, and sometimes you might not want to know what somebody's thinking. It could be something that might be, it wouldn't be good to know or hurtful or whatnot. So I'll go with the predicting the future.
I just don't care what people think about me. As you can tell with this beard and these questions, my reputation's over. So I would also predict the future as well. Question 3, Would you rather use eye drops made of habanero pepper oil or toilet paper made of extremely rough sandpaper?
Wow. Uh,
Wow.
I think I would go with the toilet paper because I've just never been like a real spicy person. So to put something like that in my eyes would be like a double negative for me. So I think I'd go with the
Toilet paper.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with the habanero pepper oil, but I think that's a question where we don't need an explanation. It's just like, let's leave it as is. Sticking with the theme of bathrooms, question number 4. Would you rather lick your own toilet seat or rub your hands all over a public toilet seat and go to dinner afterwards without washing your hands? So again, you can lick your own toilet seat or rub your hands all over a public toilet seat and then go out to dinner without washing your hands.
For me, I would lick my own toilet seat because I keep my own pretty clean, so I could tolerate that.
You heard it here first, guys. Greg Wasik with the clean toilet. Take it to the bank.
The weirdest question anyone's ever asked me.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point, man. You're in the hot seat. We're trying to make you sweat a little bit. Here's the last question for you. Number 5. Would you rather slowly pull all of your nails out of your fingers or quickly pull all your teeth out of your mouth?
I think you got to go quick.
With the teeth?
The teeth. It's like ripping that Band-Aid off. If you're going to be in that kind of pain, just do it quick.
What about the concept that your fingernails will grow back and your teeth won't? Does that change your answer at all?
Yeah, well, you can get fake teeth. You can go get some dentures.
Wow. All right. Greg, thank you for playing the OfferVault hot seat. You've been a wonderful guest. Again, I'd love to have you back anytime. Before we end this interview, I want to give you the floor. This is your time to tell our viewers anything you want about InterG Media. Please go ahead.
So anyway, just first of all, I want to thank everyone who's watching. New affiliates, old affiliates, advertisers, maybe some other network owners, whatnot. We're typically happy to work with everybody. Please reach out to me. If you're new to the affiliate marketing space, as I said before, we're happy to try and work with you. Just hopefully have a little bit of an idea how you like to tackle this. We will answer any questions you have, but newbies are always welcome to apply, and we definitely approve a lot of them. We've been around a while in the space. Many people know of us. We have never missed a payment to everyone, so that's never been a financial issue. And I think we have a good, as I said before, our strength is a lot in the pay-per-call space, if that's something you're looking at. But we also do have a lot of your typical CPA offers that you kind of see and like to run, especially a lot of the oldies and goodies and whatnot. So, we're happy to talk to whoever, and please reach out to us, and let's try and get some traffic going and make money for everybody.
For Greg from InterG Media and myself, Josh from OfferVault, let's make that paper. Let's make that dough. This was the Affiliate Marketing Show. We'll see you next time, everyone. Thanks, Greg.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Josh.